All right, thank you so much for staying with the Daybreak. Listen, this Friday we're giving you a chance to find out what opportunities lie out there. There's been a lot of complaints about no opportunities. There's been a lot of complaints about the restraining situations, and especially in terms of business. Now, once in a lifetime, we give you a chance to find out what opportunities lie out there for the youth, especially when it comes to business. Because you know the government has pumped in 1.3 billion shillings. How do you get it? What is it for? That is what we're getting into right now in terms of, they're calling it Mbele na Bees, but we'll find out how that impacts on you financially. We'll also give you a chance to call in live, by the way, and ask the questions on all that is available for you. So let me introduce my guests real quick, beginning from my left. Olivia Ouko is here. She's the National Project Coordinator, Kenya Youth Employment and Opportunities Project, KEOP. Thank you so much for making time. We have Evelyn Gare, an entrepreneur and the winner of Mbele na Bees under the Agribusiness Department. She'll tell us how that came by. We'll also be joined by Samuel Karanja, the CEO, MSME Alliance of Kenya Online, and also Raymond Ochieng, Secretary Youth Affairs, Ministry of ICT, Innovation and Youth Affairs, is joining us on phone from Isiolo. We'll get to that in just a bit. So Evelyn, Olivia, I'll start with you. Not Evelyn, I'll start with Olivia on this. Explain this to me like a class 3 child. What is this about?
Thank you, Trevor, for having us here this morning. Now, if I want to do justice to Mbele na Bees, maybe I should just unpackage the whole KEOP project. So we have the Kenya Youth Employment and Opportunities Project that started in 2016 and actually ending this year, December 2021. This is a 5-year project by the government of Kenya, funded by the World Bank. Now, KEOP, we call it KEOP to make it shorter because it's very long, has 5 products. So basically we're saying within the larger project, a youth can be able to take advantage of the 5 products. The first product is training and internship. So here we're targeting youth with Form 4 level of education and below, and we equip them with the blue collar skills. So the plumbing, the electrical installation and all that. That is the first product. Then the second product in the project is support for business creation through small grants and business development services. So that one also targets youth with Form 4 level of education and below. The third product is the labor market information system. It's being developed under the project so that a young person will not in the future say that I didn't know what was available. This is, we are doing a labor market information system so that a young person can take the responsibility in their own hands, log in and see where the jobs are, what is required to take advantage of those jobs. Then the fourth product is, we call it the Future Bora Initiative. Future Bora Initiative is a bit different because this one now is targeting organizations that work with the hard to serve youth, because we have recognized that youth are not the same. When you have an intervention, some of them, as much as they are willing to take advantage, might not, the circumstances might not allow them. The hard to serve youth constitute the street youth because they are there. They don't trust you, they don't trust me, but there are organizations that have been working with them. So we are now funding those organizations also to continue doing what they've been doing best. Another category of hard to serve youth is the teenage single mother. She might be willing to take up some training, to take up a job, but where does she leave the baby in the course of taking advantage of these opportunities? So that is the fourth product. Then, of course, the fifth product in the project is now the business plan competition. We Kenyanized it and called it Mbele na Bees, Kenyanized it and made it very youthful. So we have the Mbele na Bees business plan competition. This is one product that is targeting youth who have Form 4 level of education and above, because of the amounts of the grants that they'll be given, ranging between 900,000 to 3.6 million. So Mbele na Bees, the whole idea is to give funds to young people, and in the process create employment for other young people. So the catch is, you get this fund, but you must show that you can be able to employ other young people. Actually, we are targeting, like Evelyn and the rest of the team, minimum 10 young people. So every winner must be able to create employment for other young people. I think Raymond is with us on phone and is joining us from Isiolo because there's something they're doing there. Raymond Ochieng, Secretary Youth Affairs, Ministry of ICT, Innovation and Youth Affairs. Raymond, if you can hear me very clearly, how is this different from all the other funds we've seen, Youth Fund and all the others?
Thank you so much, Trevor. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, you're clear.
And everybody in the studio. Bell and Abyss is very, very, very unique in terms of the impact that it's going to be having. Just to give you a rough estimate of Kazi Mtaani had over 278,000 young people getting 10 billion. Here we are talking about 750. And the impact that the Bell and Abyss is going to be having, unlike what we have like the Youth Enterprise Development Fund, is that this is a grant. So we are not going to be having the repayment because, you know, the affirmative funds where Youth Enterprise Fund falls, you must pay back this money, so it's a revolving fund. So sometimes young people have challenges and they fear not to dream and to think big. So Bell and Abyss is a platform that every young person, as has been said, you have an opportunity to have money for your plan, and you have a very clear plan that has been vetted, and you will also be incubated and monitored to ensure that your business grows and you employ many other people. So, Trevor, I can say that it's very impactful. It's also very scalable, and you have a lot of money given to one person. So, and I believe we'll also help them to walk through how they need to grow, and we are going to ensure that they become successful business young people who are going to employ other people.
But Raymond, how sustainable is this? Because if you're saying that it's in terms of grants, how sustainable is it in the long run? I mean, you may give me some money, 2 million, I go and squander it, and that's it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Trevor. We don't believe in the young.
Sorry?
And young people really feel.
Raymond, we seem to be losing you there for a bit. Say that again. Okay, we seem to be having challenges with Raymond there. In fact, we want to give you a chance to call in. We will just let you call in just a bit and find out all the questions in terms. Are we back with Raymond?
We're going to be working with these young people.
Okay, Raymond, we seem to be having a bit of a challenge with your line there. We'll call you back and just get it clearly. Evelyn, so how did you get to know about this? Let's start from there.
So thank you once more, Trevor, for the invitation to be here in Citizen. So my name is Evelyn Gar. I'm a SME coach, and I'm the founder of Spectrum Direct International Limited Company. So first of all, I'm very grateful to KEOP and the whole team for the opportunity that they've offered us to be able to participate in this competition. So the question is how I got to know about the competition is through pretty much almost all sources: friends, social media pages, the World Bank page, and yeah, but I would say mostly it was friends, because in my circles, like I know like all WhatsApp groups, it was going out there.
Yeah.
Like there's an opportunity out here for everybody to apply. For young people between 18 and 35 years who are interested in business, you don't have to have had a business right now, even if you have an idea. And that opened the door for me to apply.
You're one of the winners.
Yes.
How does your structure look like? What did you come up with? What was the winning idea?
Ah, great. So the winning idea was crop production. I just applied to be in the agribusiness sector to scale up what I'm doing in the crop production industry. Basically, let me talk about what I do. I'm in the horticultural industry, that is fruits and vegetables. So, we understand horticulture is the third largest industry in Kenya, employing over 350,000 people directly, indirectly employing over 6 million people. Yeah. And that's the industry that I am in. Why? Because of the need to eat. It's one of the problems that I'm solving. So, so that's how I got to apply in the crop production sector to do vegetables and fruits.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and you're employing more people under this. What I'm trying to get is how your structure looks like. So if there's a young person who's listening now, they can now translate it into their own.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, great. So in my organization, we have two-pronged mission. I am focused in two things. Number one is employing youths and women. And that's what I always do, simply because of three reasons. Number one, the level of innovation in young people is tremendous. Number two, the level of risk-taking is immense. Of course, it has to be capped, but I like the energy and the level of risk-taking. And that's what really makes me want to employ young people and youth. And also, we know that youth have, the employment rate in Kenya is very low. I understand, according to 2019 statistics, 64%. 30% of them being 20 to 25 years, and then, you know, a lower rate, 20% being those ones between 25 and 29 years old.
Yeah.
So that's my catchment area. So for a youth who was looking at applying, you know, to Mbele na Biz on how they can, you know, benefit from Mbele na Biz,
Yeah.
I understand even the businesses that we've been able to be funded will be able to employ at least 10 people,
Yeah.
as Madam Olivia was talking about.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if I employ 10 more people on top of what I have?
Okay.
Yes.
Let me bring in Raymond before we let him go, because I know he's in another function in Isiolo. Raymond, you're talking to us about the sustainability of this initiative.
Thanks so much. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, you're clear now.
Yeah, what I wanted to say is that I know we have had conversations, and every time young people tell us that, you know, government do not understand, government do not believe in them. I want to assure you, Trevor, some of the 750 awardees and young people who have pitched from 12,000 shortlisted to 11,000, and we have narrowed down to 750. These are very promising, dedicated young people, and I believe, again, we are taking cue from what every young person has been telling government, that we believe in them. So in terms of how scalable this is and how this, unlike the funds whereby we are going to be following these young people up, we are saying that once we get this money transferred to these young people, we are not giving you the whole amount. So there's going to be a process of incubation, there's going to be a process of working with you, and that's why this amount is going to be released in tranches. But I tell you, Trevor, as we go by, you'll just hear the quality and the promising ideas and the great scalable ideas that these young people have. So what we are going to see is a huge success rate, and I believe we'll come back and report to you for you to see how transformative your program has been. And remember, Trevor, you've had, even when the young person was talking to the president, the lady said that she's now a boss lady from being a house help. So we are targeting those young people who are really, really, really needy and hard to reach. And they have what it takes, and they're putting their lives on the line to transform their lives. So that's what I can say, and we'll be getting back to report to you the success that we have had. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Raymond. I'll have to let you go. I know Raymond Ochieng, the Secretary, Youth Affairs, Ministry of ICT Innovation and Youth Affairs, is in Isiolo. I know there's a function you're supposed to do. Thanks for making time for us. Let's bring in Samuel Karanja on this before I allow you to call in and ask your questions directly to the people involved with this. Sam, what do you make of this initiative, and what do you see as some of the gaps as the CEO MSME Alliance of Kenya?
Thank you, Trevor, for having me this morning. The government has had so many, initiatives in the past, and I think this initiative is not different. And I'll tell you the reason why. Because I'm looking at the number of young people who are unemployed. We have 70% of the population of Kenya, are young people. And so when you look at the number of young people that they are reaching out, it's a very, very small number. So I don't know how the economic impact about that. And number two, I'm also looking at the amount of money that they're giving. It's a grant, so they have to make sure that they take the young people through, the training so that they can be able, to manage that money. But having said that, I think the business environment in Kenya must be improved. It has to be improved to a point whereby, it's conducive for each and every young person to be able to grow their businesses. And we have had conversations here in terms of how the government is not able to reach out to the business community and make sure that the environment is good. And so from our end, as as the business community and also as small medium entrepreneurs, we put to task the government to make sure that the policies that they put out there for small medium entrepreneurs are workable, and those policies are realistic, and those policies can be able to impact the economy in a wider scale. And so when I'm looking at this initiative, my prayer is it doesn't become like any other initiative which has been there, which has failed. I believe probably the rationale behind them reaching a smaller number of the youth is like a pilot project, just to see, then they can be able to blow it to a bigger scale. Because ideally, when you look at the demographics, I don't think it's going to have any impact or significance in the economy.
All right. What is your response to that, Olivia?
Thank you. Just to respond to this, I said initially that Mbele na Biz is under the larger Kenya Youth Employment and Opportunities Project. The project is targeting 280,000 youth directly. But then from what we have seen so far, remember I took you through the different products. We could even hit up to 1 million mark in terms of creating employment for young people. Now, having said that, because this is the first time that you're actually giving grants, giving grants to young people worth 1.3 billion. You had a question earlier on, how sustainable is this? If you look at the journey that the final 750 have gone through, from the launch in July 2019, so they've had a very, very long period within which just to percolate what is being, what they're being taken through. Initially, they started off with ideas. Yes. Then the ideas were now turned into business plans. Yeah. Then they did some pitching until finally you get to the 750. But then, just like what has been said by the Secretary Youth, these funds are not being given at a go. So for example, Evelyn here will not get the full amount. It's going to be given in tranches. So that means it's very, very conditional. You get the first tranche. It's going to be taken through rigorous impact evaluation. So they get the first tranche. We look at what is going on with the funds. What are they doing? Are we getting to the goal? Then they get the second tranche and the final tranche. So for each winner, there'll be 3 tranches. That means if they're not doing something right, instead of taking them or giving them all the money to go all the way to the end, you get them out, because this is a grant at the end of the day, and nobody's paying it back. But in terms of the numbers, I've said this is the first time you're doing this, so you cannot open it too much. So 750, almost like a pilot team, we are going to see what they're going to do with this, with the grant that they're going to receive, 1.3 billion. This will set the ground for future initiatives of this kind, because we are now looking at what the government is doing. We have the loans, like the youth fund. We now have grants. We have basically a lot of initiatives for young people to just get into the job market. We have the online platform, Ajira Digital. We have just everything is there. We are in a situation where we can no longer say that the opportunities are not there. It's up to the young people to wake up and take advantage of what is available for them. All right.
We're allowing you to call in now. We've put up the numbers, 0742961343. You can call in and also ask your questions directly. That number is 0742961343. Just call in and ask your questions directly there. Evelyn, what kind of impact will this grant have on your business? How are you surviving before you got this grant?
Wow, this grant is a breath of fresh air. I'll definitely have to say that, because the way I was surviving before, definitely number one is I got the capital from very little capital from parents, friends, and of course the mobile money, because that's the easiest way you can get a loan. And the mobile money, you know, young people, it's you don't get like 10,000, you get maybe 2,000, 5,000, and that's enough to buy seeds. That's enough to buy fertilizer and small other things, and you can't employ any other person. So I was doing everything on my own. So I want to say that the impact that the grant is going to have on me personally is growth, like tremendous growth, and not only growth in terms of money, but growth as a person. As Madam Olivia was saying earlier on, we've gone through a very rigorous process, very rigorous, starting from, you know, just building me as an entrepreneur. Because just giving me the money without building me would also be disaster when you're talking about young people. How did they build us? They helped us know how to write business plans, how to pitch them, you know, even for the future, for further expansions, as Madam Olivia is talking about this being a pilot. So, and the sustainability of that. So they're building me as a person and building my organization. I said I'm going to employ young people. We're looking at least 10 people. So the impact again is employability to young people and women and my community at large. So directly employing 10 people, indirectly you're looking at almost 100 people, because the value chain is immense, starting from the marketing bits of it to the selling bits of it, to even, you know, just me being, as I said, a business coach, an SME coach, just going out there to talk about it. I think that the impact is immense.
All right. Hold on that thought. We have a call online. Stephen Tanui from Nandi. Stephen, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Ombija.
Yes, sir. Go ahead with your comment or question.
Yes, I'm calling from currently in Nandi County.
Yes.
And my question is, is it possible to decentralize this fund to what level, so that at least there can be a representative, or rather a beneficiary in each ward in Kenya,
Sorry, say that again.
With whom, I'm asking,
Yes.
is it possible for the state funds to be decentralized to what level, so that at least there can be a beneficiary in each ward, with whom the youth at that level can subscribe and say this is a beneficiary?
Okay. All right, thanks, Stephen. Did you hear him? He was talking about whether this fund will now be taken to the ward levels. I know you've mentioned that this is just a pilot, but what is the plan, the future plan for it?
Now, this group that is getting the grant for the first time will be watched keenly. And that's why we are putting them through a rigorous impact evaluation. And this is basically to learn lessons.
Yeah.
Is this the direction to go? Can we now scale it up later on in the future? Of course, we told them that they're the pioneers of just giving grants by the government. So I would say at this point that anything is possible.
Yeah.
If this team performs well, and if we are able to see the impact of what these funds will do with them, I'm not saying that we cannot fund later on in the future, because most of the initiatives that is have been scaled up actually started small. Then along the way, the lessons that were learned were able to give you comfort that you can expand it further and take it to the grassroots. Because right now we are talking about, mashinani.
Yeah.
The young person is at the mashinani. I am not ruling it out.
Okay.
But then for this group, we are watching them keenly. We want to see the growth. We want to see the impact so that we can comfortably say this is the direction we can move in terms of empowering young people.
So I'm seeing a lot of questions here, Olivia, in terms of how much was the sensitization done. I see Mr. Onyango here is saying, I'm hearing this Mbele na Bees for the first time, and I'm trying to apply, but I'm told no new applications are accepted. He says this is unfair and unfortunate.
If I could respond, and we went out for a serious outreach program, because if Evelyn found it in her groups, and Evelyn is from Kisii, if she found it in the groups that she's in, what I'll tell young people right now, the opportunity, as I said it earlier on, take responsibility to your own hands. Because sometimes you expect that you give them everything. The young people should just be alert to what is available. There was a serious outreach using all forms of media. We launched it live on television. We had newspapers. We had social media. So any young person should have been able to take advantage. And then it basically, sometimes the young people are skeptical. Because we saw it, especially when we did the launch, some were saying this will never see fruition. It's just something that the government is doing. But then today, for those ones who decided that, let me take this opportunity, they're here with us. The young people of this country sometimes no longer being given things on a platter. They need to wake up and take advantage of the opportunities.
So right now, as we speak, you're not taking any more applications?
We are not taking any more. Actually, we did the launch in July 2019, and we closed the applications I think sometimes in 2020. So they were given a long period. Evelyn, I think, how long was it between the time for the launch and the time we closed application? It was a long period. And any young person who wanted to take advantage would have taken advantage.
But because some of them are now hearing this for the first time, why then don't you take these ideas and put them somewhere, like in a database of some sort, so that when the next tranche comes through, then you can also consider the first people who came through? Because I see here, Joseph Bariu says, good morning, I'm Joseph and I have a supply company in Nairobi. How do I get this grant?
So lessons learned, moving forward, this could just now, from being a project into a program. Now we already have a data bank. Remember, we had over 12,000 applications, and out of the 12,000, we have 750. So we have over another 11,000 who are interested in the Mbele na Bees, but never made it through. We are not calling them losers. We are saying they didn't make it through this time. But the lessons that they've learned along the way would put them in a better platform if something like this comes up. So what you're going to do is, the larger KEOP project has, we have developed a system where we're taking in and we're developing this database for the young people. Just like the other products, they apply, but some do not make it. But then we keep that data bank. so that in the future, if we have to reach out to them, just through bulk SMS, we can reach out to them very, very fast. The same group with the ones that went through Mbele na Biz.
Right.
We have that data bank. If something like this comes up, and we are not limiting them to this country, because this opportunity is available. We saw like what we have, we borrowed a lot from Nigeria. They also have such a program or a project called UWIN, and then so we learned a lot from them. If they can log in and they're not limited in terms of the countries they're coming from, they can go in because they already have information. But we have the data bank very, very intact so that you can reach them out if you see something that comes up for them.
All right.
Yeah.
When you're applying on this, Evelyn, and I know Samuel Karanja is still with us, I'll go to him in just a bit. What were some of the things that you wish was improved or even taken forward now that you are in the process and you're one of the winners? When you're going through this system, so to speak, what do you wish would have been improved?
Okay, first of all, I would like to say that the Mbele na Biz team did an amazing job. Let me start with that as an entrepreneur. Because of what I was talking about, the training that we got, the life skills we got. But I would also like to say that it came at a time, not excusing Mbele na Biz, but it came at a time when the whole world was experiencing, uncommon grounds. I think by last year, some of these things would have finished. Would have finished, like this whole process. But there was quite a delay last year when there was COVID-19. So maybe the only one major thing I'd say is the time.
Yeah.
The time between application and when the grant is out. But I would excuse it because I look at it as 2020, we had a lot of coronavirus, and that happened. But I also want to say something, Trevor.
Yeah.
Someone was talking about this project going to ward level. I was looking at the young people, young men and women in Kasarani, the other day. They are from, like, I don't know which county was in there. Yeah. Maybe Madam Olive would tell us because I don't know the whole database. Yeah. But I met the whole country there. Somebody from, of course, Kisii, Philip. I never even met someone from Kisii, interestingly. It was from all over, Kisumu, Mandera, Kajiado, some counties I've never been to personally. So it's really, and when you talk about wards, like wards and wards, Kiambu, Nairobi, guys were so much there. So I'd like to say that this thing really went to the whole country. Okay. It's not only like Nairobi or Kisii.
All right. Let's bring in Wycliffe Nyakundi, is calling from Kisii. Wycliffe, what's your question or comment?
Thank you, sir. My question is, first of all, I have a question and a comment. The first comment, maybe I start with a comment. Thank you. I think concerning the application mode, it could be better that in future we used to try to look at how best we can try to decentralize this thing at the lowest level possible. Because, to be honest, there are many young youths in this country who are doing a lot of work in the villages and in the communities, but more often they are not seen up there. So it's only those who have maybe the information, the power of information, who can be able to reach and communicate up there. But maybe to go to my question.
Yes.
I'm wondering, what kind of strategies do we put in place, especially to see that in future we try to actually expand this program to the vulnerable youth? Because one of the things for sure I'll tell you,
yes,
if you look at the list that is more often selected out of those winners, those should be the people who are empowered, who have known how to write business plans, and at times you even find that they are even already done well in their business, they have already grown in their businesses. But how do we ensure that you get those who are very vulnerable, we train them how to write the proposals, so that by the time they come out, they know that indeed these are the people who are totally vulnerable, but they have ideas and they can grow. Thank you.
All right. And that's a very important question. I have to take a quick break, and then when I come back, Olivia will respond to that, because he's saying then that most of the time we take the youth who are already elitist or already have the ideas or are already learned, like Evelyn here. What about the people who don't know anything? Can they be taught how to even write a proposal just because they have a simple idea with them? And what is the plan to ensure this is decentralized, like Wycliffe says? We'll be back in just a bit. We're taking a quick break here on Daybreak. I also see some of your questions here online. We'll be posing some of them to Olivia and Evelyn as well. And Samuel Karanja, the CEO MSME Alliance of Kenya, is also joining us. He'll be speaking to us about what he likes to see going forward. All right? See you in just a bit.